Hi again. With all the stressors in our lives, simple and good nutrition is more important than ever. Reed Dunn from the food blog Pesto and Potatoes shares an easy and nutritious recipe that has lots of uses.
Yeah, I started Pesto and Potatoes about 3 years ago as a way to kind of chronicle my own healthy eating journey. I'm a pescatarian, so I eat a lot of seafood, great for living in Seattle. But I really am focused on kind of sustainable eating as much as I can. And my real goal is just getting home cooks and people who don't think that they can cook into the kitchen. I mean, this pesto comes together with little to no effort. So those are the kinds of recipes you're going to find there.
That's what we need. All right, I'm looking at all this beautiful stuff. So you're making pesto. What makes this a little bit different?
So what I'm doing is actually a radish top pesto, and it goes with a roasted radish. And a lot of people don't think about roasting their radishes. A lot of people don't even like radishes because they think they're too peppery or they just don't enjoy that flavor. But if you roast them in the oven for 20 minutes, you really get a beautiful, they're almost like a potato, I mean, a roasted root vegetable.
Yeah.
So this pesto is really great because it allows you to use the whole thing, the leafy green parts, kind of eliminate any waste in the kitchen, which I always think is great.
I love that too. All right, I'll let you get started then. What do we start with?
Yeah, well, I'm going to actually show you really quickly how to just make a batch of the roasted radishes. And I've started cutting these up, but you just really clean up the radishes and you want to cut them in half. And once you get them all on your sheet pan, you just drizzle them with a little bit of olive oil and some salt and pepper. And you just drop them in the oven, 20 minutes, mix them up, add a little fresh garlic and some parsley for the last 5 minutes, and they'll come out. And the radishes are pretty great. They just look
Yum.
like a nice roasted root vegetable. And that, I think, is great on its own. I put a little fresh parsley on it. But to get the pesto going, I just got these radishes actually from my garden this morning. So I just pulled the leafy green. And you want about 3 cups smashed in here into the food processor. And I just take that in there and kind of you're going to give this a little pulse. Unlike another pesto, these greens are a lot bigger, so you want to kind of push those down with a spatula or something to kind of keep those going as you're moving along. You want to get those pulsed down and just get that mixed up. And once you get that in there, you're going to add a little bit of parsley just to break it up, which just takes a few seconds here. So now that I've got those going, I'm going to go ahead and add the parsley in. And with this parsley, just tear it off of my parsley that I keep in the fridge, about 1/4 cup. Again, I'm going to push those down just to kind of get them going in there. One nice thing about this pesto is you really can...
Just real quick, is it flat leaf parsley? What kind of parsley?
Yeah, it's Italian flat leaf parsley.
Okay.
I always keep some on hand in the fridge in a jar. And you just want to get that all kind of pulsed up before you get the pesto going. And the nice thing about this pesto recipe, I don't put any dairy in it, so a lot of people can really enjoy it. At this point, I'm just going to add a garlic clove, 1/4 cup of pine nuts, which you really can substitute with whatever nuts work for you. The juice of half a lemon, and I zest that lemon, which is really key to getting a nice flavor. A pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper. And then I'm just going to pulse this up again until we get that mixed in. And kind of the final step, I mean, the beautiful thing about pesto is it's really hard to mess up, is that I'm going to run it on low while I drizzle in.
I like it so much. It always turns out great.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just going to drizzle in 1/4 cup to 1/2 cup of olive oil to finish it up. So you want it to run on low, and I like to just watch in the top to make sure it's coming together. And sometimes you need to stop again to scrape down the sides just to kind of get it going. and all mixed in. And what you're really looking for is to make sure that you have something that's not too chunky of a paste and something that's not too runny. And we're almost there. I think just a little bit more olive oil. And we're going to reach that kind of perfect consistency.
Now, let me ask you for a fix. If you do kind of drizzle too much oil in or it gets a little thin, can I just add more greens?
Yeah, you can add another handful of the fresh parsley is the way I usually do it. And then I kind of test it at the end for salt and check my flavors. But it's looking really great actually right here. And I will show you kind of what we're looking at there. It's just a nice pesto that can just kind of drip on here onto the radishes. And you can store this in a jar in the refrigerator. And it's so good on eggs mixed in your pasta or however you kind of
Exactly.
enjoy
Would you
pesto.
hold that plate up so we can see what it looks like on top of the roasted radishes? Those look great. And it is something you can use on fish or anything you want, right? Just whatever. I find it delicious on everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I always keep a jar in the fridge. I spread it on the top of a piece of salmon before I roast it in the oven or on the grill. I drizzle it on my eggs in the morning. I'm a big pesto lover, so it goes on everything.
Yes, and can we freeze it? If we double it up, can we freeze it and save for later?
Absolutely, yeah. Use those little silicone molds and put them in there. You can use a cupcake tin even. That's about a half a cup serving. Freeze it in that, pop them out, put it in a zip top bag, and you can keep it in the freezer for 3 to 6 months and pull those out as you need them.
So it's perfect, basically. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I wish I was there to have a taste.
Yeah, me too.
All right, have a great day.
And I really did wish I was there. That looked delicious. Reed, in fact, shared his pesto and the roasted radish recipes. They'll be on our website for you, so we hope you'll check them out.